Scott Gonzalez here, founder and managing partner of Gravitant Growth. Um, we basically help AI based businesses in the B2B space grow. Um, Enough about that. I want to just share here something I thought about today that I've experienced in the past and kind of did not want to forget again because I did forget, and that's why I want to talk about it now. So, this was um, basically the time that this was when I this was around 2 years ago. I'll give you some context. 2 years ago, I had my social media marketing agency that I first started. Um, I did some outreach through LinkedIn, I believe, and then I got one person to book a sales meeting with me. Right. My sales process was crap, so I don't even know why he wanted to book the call. He was probably unqualified. That's what I'm telling myself. Anyway, so I get in this call. Mind you, at this time, I had two part-time jobs. I had a car payment. I had some bills. I was living with my girlfriend at the time, and I was basically tight on money pretty much every check. I was living paycheck to paycheck. I was tight on money. This was around 6 days before the end of the month, so I had some bills coming up at the end of the month. So once this meeting booked through, I was like, oh man, I finally got my first ever sales meeting. I'm gonna close this guy. Um, I just had a lot of confidence at first, and then that confidence turned into like anxiety, and I was like, I really need this sale bad. Like this will lift so much stress off my shoulders. And I had this whole mindset of just needing this sale. Like I felt that I needed it. You can literally look at me and know how much I needed this to go through, right? And this was the first mistake. So I hop in that sales call, and I'm over here talking about the weather. This guy's like, what? Like what? Like he's, how you say hello. I'm like, oh, it's the weather. Anyways, I was just basically, talking about stuff that did not matter. And going into the middle of that call, which only lasted about 10 minutes, going into the middle of that call, he realized how much I needed this sale, and I realized how bad basically my sales pitch was. Um, but I talked the whole time. He barely talked, which is terrible if you're in sales. Your prospect should be doing most of the talking, and you should be listening and finding the pain points that they're actually going through. Anyways, I was talking the whole time, and he can smell like my aura of me. Like he knows I need this sale bad, and he's not gonna give it to me. You know why? It's because that's not what happens in real life. Okay. So after the call, I'm like all like tore down. I'm like, man, like I needed that sale. That sale would have proved to me that I'm doing good, which I wasn't. I was half-assing everything. I barely put in time into the business. I had two part-time jobs. I was all over the place at this 2 years ago. Um, so once that meeting, ended, I'm just feeling like crap. I had the recording of the meeting. I lost it by now, but I wish I had it. It was so bad. Anyways, I had a meeting. I listened to it 10 times. I'm just like, I am terrible. And then I just remember this one. Like, I sound like if I was in his shoes, I would turn myself down also. I sounded so needy. You can just smell it on someone. And it was terrible, right? I've learned from now. So what I've learned is, of course, not to sound needy at all. Even if you do need it, if you know you need to pay rent at the end of the month, don't bring that into the call. Okay, step into the call and enter enter the zone. You know how basketball players, like, there's a lot of fans booing them, but they're in the zone. They don't hear nothing. They don't hear the fans booing. They don't hear distractions. They're just in their zone. They're in the flow, and that's what pretty much you need to do in every sales call. And if you don't know how to do that, and if you're struggling with doing that, is all I can tell you is no books, no courses, no videos are gonna help you. All that's gonna help you is repetition, going into more sales calls. Okay, if it's hard for you to land meetings and you don't want to pay money to get leads and book meetings, find a job a sales job that might pay low but will get you in the game of sales. You'll learn from there. That's how I learned. I was in sales, and that I was cold calling every single day, 150 calls a day. I know that's kind of low, but at the time it wasn't, and it was my first time. That really toughens your skin up. Anyways, so for me, it was through experience that I learned on kind of switching the frame, from being very needy, even though I knew I needed it at the end of the month. Now I go into the sale in completely different zone. I'm there listening to the prospect, and that's what you should be doing. You should be listening to the prospect. You shouldn't be worried about if you're gonna pay your bill on time. Like once you step in that call, that needs to go out the window, and this needs to be about your prospect, how you can help them. Okay, and I'm not gonna give you a whole sales course and teach you about sales here, but I'm just telling you about my experience, and the reason why I wanted to bring this story up is so I don't forget and kind of look back on it for the future. And that's pretty much all the story is the sharks can smell when the blood's in the water, so don't bleed in the water. But yeah, I just wanted to have this story as a reminder for me, and hopefully it touched you somehow. Maybe not, maybe, I don't know. Anyways, hope you guys have a good night, happy holidays, and